and welcome to Studio
Set
Stage, a weekly podcast with us, Cynthia Mallard
and Mark Dean, where we take you from the studio to the set to the stage
in the world of entertainment.
Hey, welcome back to Studio Set Stage. I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Mark Dean.
Hey, guys, so much to get to. We have missed you guys. A lot has gone on in about a week's time. God, well, really a lot has gone on in about 2 days?
Yeah,
really?
I'm telling you, man, time flies.
It flies.
Over a span of a weekend.
Okay,
you know?
Listen, guys, a lot to get to. Like I said, Kaepernick, the whole debacle over that, his Saturday workout, which was crazy, right? Also, the Soul Train Awards went down last night. How amazing. And of course, our fellow Studio Set stager Kanye West drops it down with Joel Osteen. So we'll get to all of that. First, want to say, guys, thank you so very much for continuing to listen every week, every episode. We see you, and thank you so much for the DMs.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for following us and definitely listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Play. And we appreciate the love and support. And guys, we've been seeing you subscribing to StudioSetStage.com. So continue to subscribe because we got a lot more in store. So keep it coming. We appreciate it.
It seems like more people are listening on Apple Podcasts. Now, I might be wrong. It seems like, because guys, I know most of us are like iPhone like heads, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course, I converted a long time ago, as well as other people too. So I'm thinking that maybe Apple Podcasts is like the preferred podcast for our Studio Set stages. Is that what you think?
Well, a lot of people definitely, they have the iPhone. I got the iPhone 11 and everybody has the iPhone, but there's a lot of Android users out there that listen to us.
You had to say that, didn't you?
Yeah, but there's
the iPhone 11. All of us ain't able.
Okay, well,
okay.
I'm just saying, hey, if you rocking with it, you rocking with it.
You rocking
know what
with
I'm
it,
saying?
right.
You got to understand, hey man,
and we are happy
Keeps
you are
moving.
rocking with us. Okay,
Yes.
So listen, like I said, we got a lot to get to. Don't forget, like Mark Dean just said, visit our site StudioSetStage.com. You can learn about me. You can learn about Mark Dean.
Yes.
You can hear our latest episode. If you go there, you're not going to see every episode. That's why we always talking about all the different podcast platforms, such as iHeartRadio, such as Spotify, such as YouTube, right? So you can kind of click there and look at the long running list of podcast episodes that we've had in the past. Okay, but if you go to Studio Set Stage, you'll just see one episode. Okay, that the most current episode.
Yes, you will. And definitely, either way, like reaching out to us, our IG, all of that at Studio Set Stage.
Everywhere, Facebook.
Yes.
IG.
Facebook.
Yeah.
IG.
We even got a
Twitter.
LinkedIn account, y'all.
Yes.
We for real. We for real about this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
without further ado, guys, so I will tell you, oh my God, over the weekend, I know like me and Mark Dean, like we were just going back and forth, and with everybody, like the whole world, watching this whole debacle, this smoke screen with the NFL, man. How was, what were you thinking, Mark Dean? Like,
Oh man, well, with Kaepernick, I feel that everything is smoke and mirrors.
It is.
And
It is.
you have to, not just look at it from surface level. And I want to definitely say the way Kaepernick handled the whole situation, because there's many layers to this thing.
It's so many, right?
But I thought that it was strategic. I thought it was strategic.
I'm so proud of him.
And you have to add, and like I've said before, you have to definitely input and implement strategy in your struggle.
Let's and for those of you who are living under a rock, like you literally have to be under a rock to not know what happened. The NFL hastily, very quickly scheduled a workout for Kaepernick to work out at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right?
Right, in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Yes.
All 32 teams, their recruits, whatever, officials were there to see him actually work out, to see if he could actually get signed to one of the teams, right? Basically, Kaepernick asked them, can I include an independent video company that can film me while I'm there or whatever, right? The NFL turned down his request. I'm just going to get straight to it. The NFL turned down his request. The reason why he requested that is he wanted transparency. No, he is not going to trust the NFL team that has blocked him for the past 3 years in returning to what he knows.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I can see why. As a consequence, Colin Kaepernick, he rescheduled. Like, he basically changed the venue. So he literally had his own workout, which is cool. Which is cool in this circumstance.
Well, if you think about it, from the standpoint, I mean, how they initiated the whole workout, or scheduled it, it was like he got, a couple of days notice?
Yeah, I think it was like 7 days. I think it was like 7 days.
It might have been less than that, but I'm just saying it was crazy. And it was like, okay, well, you want me to adhere to all of these, requests and requirements, but like you said, there's no transparency.
Exactly.
So they can twist the narrative either way. They can change it.
Exactly.
And I want to say this, I know that we have, you guys probably definitely seen it on Twitter. You've seen it on all of the social media outlets with Stephen A. Smith. Now, with all due respect, I think that some people have their angles, and how they're wanting to go out and have their views and opinions on the whole Kaepernick situation. I agree, and with another person online that criticized, Stephen A. Smith's comments. And it's not, it's not anything under a rug. You guys can go online and look at it. But Stephen A. Smith, I think, was his comments was a little premature in terms of evaluating and looking at it. Now he's looking at it from surface level, and he's probably looking at it from another perspective, because they were saying, well, once you've reached a certain level of a certain hierarchy in terms of your financial situation, it tends to skew your view on what's going on. And
in other words, Stephen A. Smith has reached he's crossed over, and he just signed almost an $8-9 million contract for 5 years. What is it like? What is it? I forgot. $20-30 million contract for like 5 years, whatever. So
with ESPN. I know that with media, it's all about making sure you keep up with the Joneses in terms of ratings. And not belittling,
he has a show.
Not belittling his accomplishments, but at the same time, I just felt that, I thought that,
he basically said
really
that Colin did not want to really play, basically.
Yeah, he said he wanted to be a martyr and all of those things, but I think he's missing the bigger picture. And a lot of times you have to look at, okay, well, you're getting funded and you're getting your dollars from, some of the main entities that look at the NFL as their main bread and butter.
Yeah, corporate.
So you have to look at how things are skewed and, being spoon-fed, in terms of media and all of these things, you really, and that's the great thing about it now with the current platform, you have the wherewithal to do diligence and do the research, and think for yourself, and not be influenced by those that have, or they're in a particular position like a Stephen A. Smith, and I'll go out on a limb and I'll say that, and just know that, with the purpose, there's a reason behind everything. And, like I said, you got to understand, this thing is strategic. It's chess. It's not checkers.
I'm going to tell you, what I tweeted, guys, I know some of you, because we had dialogue back and forth, like I know on Twitter, Facebook, IG. I basically was like, you know what? Stephen A. Smith has been to this type of rodeo 1,000 times before. Oh, yeah. He's been in the business forever. Right. So, basically, his comments, like you said, were strategic. Like, he has a show. He's wanting everybody, millions of people are going to be tuning into his, but this is the First Take show. I don't even watch his show or whatever, right? But I've seen him before. I really totally do not believe that he actually believed the comments that he was saying over the weekend. I think it was bait and click. I seriously think was bait and click. Like he's like, I'm going to say this so people can listen and tune into my show. Because in previous years, Stephen A. has been on the side of Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
I just don't believe that Stephen A. would put Colin Kaepernick out there consciously knowing what this brother has done over the years. You know what I'm saying? And what this brother stands for and why he was kneeling, why he was protesting during the national anthem. Like, I can't see that. Stephen A. is very, very educated. He's got feelers everywhere. Like, there's something else to it. There's something else to it.
Yeah, well, and I think maybe it's to start dialogue about just the whole, as they say, the whole situation, because you just see the end result. Like I've said before, what you see with media and what you're seeing on social media, a lot of times, most times, it's the end result of what you're seeing.
Right.
You don't know, okay, well, all right, how did this start? How was this initiated? And I think, in a way, and I agree with you, Cent, from that perspective, it could be, well, he's trying to start and initiate that conversation, which
he's playing
is up
both
for debate.
sides. He's playing both sides. And that's what most times commentators do. They play both sides. They play the devil's advocate and knowing that, we're in media. So we know, let me get on this side. Well, I can see the side of the NFL players and Roger Goodell, but then I can also see the side of my brother, Colin Kaepernick. So that's what I think Stephen A. is doing.
Well, I'm going to say this. And like I said, it might not be popular, but now it's time for transparency, especially in media. And we've gone through the whole process of being spoon-fed, in terms of that. And I feel like now you have to take the information, because all information isn't the right information. And most times it has a slant on it. It's opinionated. And I really believe with Stephen A., I thought those comments really came from his vantage point from an opinion. It's his opinion.
It is.
And you're entitled to your opinion, but just because it's his opinion, just because he's Stephen A. Smith, it doesn't make it correct.
Well, listen, guys, I just want to tell you, like I said, if you've been living under a rock or something and you don't know exactly, after Kaepernick had finished his workout and his throwing, might I say that the throwing, his performance on the field, they said Saturday, I saw the video, and everybody, millions saw the video. And when I say it was amazing, I think his footwork was fabulous. Right. Like I said, I'm not a sports analyst or an expert, but just watching him, it looks like he hadn't even missed 3 years. And so many people who are experts said the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's comments, at the end, when he made his initial statement, and he said, hey, man, I've been ready. I stayed ready. Yeah. I'm going to continue to be ready. So the ball is in the NFL's court.
He actually said, waiting on 32 owners, 32 teams. He basically issued, it is a threat, because a lot of people say, if it's a job you're trying to go after, you don't threaten your boss. And he did say, Roger Goodell, stop running. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's like, my managers are waiting. Right. He's like, my manager is waiting. And he said, we're waiting. And he said, we will go anywhere. We will sign anywhere, basically. So, today it's Monday. He's still a free agent. We haven't heard if anybody, but there were 8 teams. I think 8. Right. Yeah, 8 recruits. There were 8 out of the 32 that were there. Yeah. So I was laughing because I think online I was like, you know what? Can you imagine being one of those recruits who thought you were going to see like the hottest sports ticket in the world and you miss it because Colin Kaepernick changes the venue? Yeah.
Well, like I said,
can you imagine how much cussing? Can you imagine how much cussing was going on? And people were making an argument online, like, it's not that big of a deal. He changed the venue. He gave them an hour to get there. But if anybody knows, if you rolled around in the ATL, like.
Yeah, I know a lot of lattes were being fumbled and stuff was being,
exactly. Oh my God.
What
I could just see some of those recruits who like did not make or did not go. I could just see them like totally like melting.
Oh, yeah.
Melting in their shoes. So, but listen, we just want to say big ups to Colin Kaepernick.
Yes,
like I said, he is an icon, and he really stands for all those people who champion civil and human rights. So we love him so much. We're all behind him. Studio Set Stage, we continue to say hashtag I'm with Cap. So moving on to the Soul Train Awards, guys. How amazing was the show, right?
Yes, the 2019 Soul Train Music Awards was lit. It really was a spectacular display of talent. You know, a lot of good awards and just a great show. I thought from beginning to end it was cohesive and really solid.
It's the show. It's a historical show. It's the show that actually brings out real music, real artists. You know, I will be honest with you. You can just kind of tell like our age range, and looking at some of the young artists, it was kind of like, oh my God, like we are getting older. But they also mixed it in with the people who made the show, who made music iconic.
Oh yeah, they definitely paid,
they always do.
They paid homage to the legends, especially one of my musical production mentors and legends, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yes.
They were honored.
They looked so good.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. You know, they were honored with the Legends Award for, you know, over 30 plus years of producing major hits. You know, these guys, this production duo was, you know, just give you a little background. You know, they started in the fabulous group The Time.
Wow.
You know, which was formed under Morris Day, Prince, and from there, you know, they were fired, but they went on and they produced acts like the SOS Band, Sherelle, Alexander O'Neal.
Sherelle, and they performed last night.
Yeah, they performed last night.
Shouts out to Sherelle. She was doing it big with that bodysuit. You better go, girl.
Yeah.
She found out, oh, we're gonna perform, and she went in the gym and went to work. I am not mad at you, sister, but she sounded amazing too, along with Alexander.
Oh yeah, Alexander, you know, he was still rocking.
Yeah,
you know?
He was all right.
Definitely.
I'll say that. Okay.
But Boyz II Men as well performed.
They did great too, as always.
You know, Mint Condition,
Ooh.
Stokely, you know, those guys still rock it.
Yeah.
And
Stokely hasn't missed a beat, right? Just watching him on stage. Fabulous.
Most definitely. And, you know, I mean, but those guys, I mean, were behind, you know, the driving force behind, you know, Janet Jackson, put on the map with Control, you know, Rhythm Nation, New Edition, you know, just major, I mean, their catalog and their discography runs deep.
I had no idea they actually put together Pretty Brown Eyes.
Oh yeah,
like I maybe I was living under a rock too.
Yeah, Mint Condition was signed on their label.
Amazing. Okay, great. Okay.
So you know, kudos and much props to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
We take our hats off to you.
Yes, indeed.
Honorable. I saw them performing with Morris Day. And it, you know what? Somebody had made a comment on social, and they were like, "Lord God, are they ever going to change up their steps or their whole routine?" And I was thinking in my mind, of course not.
No.
What?
No, and you know, that's the thing. We have to realize, you know, as a culture, we have to honor our legends, and The Time is their true legends.
Amen.
You know, they started. They were at first they started under the brainchild from Prince, right? You know, and Morris Day, and those guys all came up together. Which The Time itself is, you know, they're just legends in themselves. But you know, when you think about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they're part of that original trio. Not trio, but original group. You know, and each member of that group has done great things. Jesse Johnson, you know, which is the guitarist, you know, he played with, you know, he also played with D'Angelo and the Vanguard and all of those guys. You know, Jelly Bean Johnson, which, you know, is, you know, really, if you recognize Jelly Bean Johnson, he's one of in terms of funk culture, he's one of the best drummers that ever did it. You know, Monty, just the keyboardists. I mean, they're awesome.
I just think some of the younger generation didn't understand like the whole mirror, that whole thing, the spinning, that whole thing, that the slapping hands. But guys, it's a cultural thing, it's a generational thing. So while y'all got the blunts and stuff out, on stage, I'm just gonna be young art, y'all walk around and smoke and stuff. That's what y'all do now. Back then, you got to think about, the thing was to slap the hands and to point your index finger, put the comb through your hair on your left and your right side. You can't discount these legends and what they brought to the table.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to give them props, and you got to pay homage. All of that came from somewhere. So definitely give them mad props on their award being, given that award for the legends, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And some of the other award winners for the 2019 Soul Train Music Awards for Best Collaboration went to Drake and Chris Brown.
Yeah,
No Guidance.
Of course.
Also, in the other category, Her won for Best Female Artist.
I love her.
Khalid won for Best Male Artist. Also, the Lady of Soul the award went to the Lady of Soul award went to Yolanda Adams.
Yolanda, oh my gosh, she looked so fabulous last night. Normally, she may have like a long dress or whatever, kind of big frill, but last night she was looking so very chic and just, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Yolanda Adams, right?
Yes.
Inspirational music at its best. Gospel music at its best.
Oh, yeah. And a legend, icon in her own right.
Yeah.
Deserving award, Lady of Soul, and she represented, as always.
She did. She really did.
Also Summer Walker, she won for Best New Artist.
Yeah.
And kudos to her.
Congratulations to her.
She recently went online and announced she has, anxiety.
She has social anxiety.
Social
is what
anxiety
she said.
disorder.
Yeah.
And for
you kind of
her
saw
to
it.
be there.
You saw it last night.
Yeah, but she mentioned, it was a struggle for her to be there. But, all in all, after the event, she said, man, I had one of the best times of my life. But, kudos to her for, rising up to meet the challenge and, really going to keep her, in our prayers and hope that, she can work through that. Because with everything, man, we all work in progress. We all have things that we're dealing with. But kudos to Summer Walker for winning Best New Artist.
I heard some of her critics online were talking. They were like, oh, well, you can go on IG and like record a twerking video, but I don't understand how you can't like accept an award or talk to people face to face. People have to understand it's, in this industry, it is not easy.
Right.
And, putting up a camera or one single camera in your bedroom, talking to the camera is totally different than a million people staring at you or trying to touch you or trying to feel you,
Yes.
So that's the best way that I can explain it. It's one of my areas of expertise. So when she said that she had social anxiety, versus seeing this IG post,
right,
I kind of understood what she's going through. You know?
Yeah. And, that's one thing with the illusion of social media. It gives you access to connect. However, it's also insular. Because
it is.
When you are making a post, you're
it's just
using your iPhone.
Right. It's the phone and you. Exactly.
Using your iPad or whatever, and then you can hit send and you're sending it out.
Or you can redo it, or you can re-record the whole nine. So you don't have all these eyes and these bodies like judging you right there. So
right. Yes, indeed. But definitely. But she was in attendance last night, and she looked good.
Yeah, and she walked off awkwardly. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did. She said, "Thank you."
Thank you. It was kind of weird, but you know what? It was all good. We love you.
Yes,
we understand.
Yeah. Also, Trevor Jackson. He won for the groundbreaking award. He was the lead role in last year's film Superfly. So Trevor Jackson, also the Cypher, and every year, just like the Hip Hop Awards, they have what is called a Soul Cypher, and Keisha Cole who looked
great, by the way. Doubt. Wow, Post Baby.
Yes, Leandra Johnson, Anthony Hamilton, Carl Thomas, Robert Glasper, Erykah Badu, they all participated in this year's Soul Cypher. So if you guys didn't catch it, definitely you're going to be seeing posts and all of that stuff dealing with that. Also, Lizzo, she won for Best Video.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Yes, for Juice. And also, she also won for Best Album Mixtape.
Awesome, man.
Yes,
Talk about,
I love you.
This is her year. This is her year. Last year was her year.
Yes.
I just hope she just keeps going. Going.
Yes, and another great, even though he didn't win, but I thought he did an awesome performance was Wale. Wale, which he did his song, which is awesome. Chills, and also he did a melody with Sue Me. This is another song called Sue Me, which he collaborated with Kelly Price, which paid homage to, I guess, Black excellence, acknowledging that. And I thought that was a really great performance highlight of the night. And there was several, but definitely, like I said, and to end it, Morris Day and the Time, they closed it out. And of course, because, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they're part of the time and they were honored. So, I thought all in all, 2019 was, great in the record books for the Soul Train Awards.
Well, you know what? I will tell you, I think that was like the great part of the Soul. The show was fabulous. But, of course, I got to bring this up. Like, I think the Soul Train Awards red carpet, it was hosted, I remember, by Ray J. And when I say it, I mean, hey, you got to call it what it is.
Okay.
It was horrible. Like, it was absolutely horrible. I know that the Soul Train Awards took place in Las Vegas, and this was like, it was live. Just Ray J, I just was wondering, like, who chose Ray J? How does he keep popping up in places where he don't belong? Like, obviously he did not belong on the red carpet. I'm gonna put it out there. I don't care. I mean, it's what I do. It's my lane.
I know. I just say this. I say, hey, can't knock the hustle.
I mean, yeah.
Ray J, and I think, he was in news just maybe within this past month. He got the rights to Suge Knight's life rights.
I get it.
So Ray J is making moves, and he's been making some moves on an entrepreneurial front. But yeah, sometimes. If you spend 5 minutes doing something, it's going to look like you spent 5 minutes doing something. So, all in all, I thought it was a pretty good show. And also kudos to the host, Tisha Campbell and Tanisha Arnold. Now,
I mean, hey, they did the bit that they always do. It's kind of like, the longtime friends,
right.
and it was okay. Like, it was good to see them. They look good. They sounded great. So we're happy just to have them because they are icons in their own right.
Yeah, from Martin days. That's Gina and Pam.
Exactly.
So no doubt.
So wonderful Soul Train Awards. Also, so guys, we were talking. We've talked about fellow studio set stager Kanye West before on the show,
Jesus.
And of course you already know this weekend he visited Joel Osteen's church and bought Jesus to church. He was also able to prophesy, to kind of tell people about his enlightenment, which I thought was amazing.
Okay.
Of course, you already know all across social media, like, he is getting bashed. But I just want to say one thing. I listened to Jesus is King this Sunday on my way to church. It didn't cause me to get out and start, wanting to worship Kanye. It didn't make me get out the car and want to get on my knees and say, praises due to all Kanye. Like, his project, the music, the acts, and this is coming from me. Yeah. It's very pure, it's very innocent, it's very healing, and it's very real. And I had a problem. I was on social media like, why is nobody talking about the music?
Well,
why is nobody talking about how awesome the production is?
Well, I believe too, you like, and really we kind of talked about this when we were talking about Kaepernick, but you have to think about media, how media likes to spin certain things.
Exactly.
But I recently saw they had an article on Billboard that said, with his album Jesus is King, it was his ninth project that debuted at number one. So I think he's not receiving the criticism, I think, from the critics. I think and this is just me coming from with my music production hat, I'm putting it on. I think this is one of his most cohesive pieces of work.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
And
I'm with you.
I feel that it was really solid. I thought the in terms of with the subject matter, it was cohesive in that realm. And people want to put their skew on it, saying, well, where he was talking about this on Jesus, but now he's talking about this, and
people can change.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about this. So many people, you're so quick to throw stones. Like, what's your life look like? Like, we go home with you. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? When exactly. Everybody's got the two faces. Most people have the two faces. The face that you use around your real friends, and the people, your family that you grew up with, and then it's the people the face that you use when you going out here to corporate America.
Oh yeah.
So let me. How many of you guys have been, maybe on drugs, came back? How many of you have possibly been living a life that was less than savory, right?
Right.
And now you in the church you in the church 5 days a week. So why can't the same privilege or pass be given to Kanye West? Is it because he's so big? Is it because he's a black man? Is it because you don't really like the subject that he's talking about? You can't deal with him talking about God because you over here maybe about to go get high on whatever you get high on, and you don't want to listen to Kanye talking about being saved.
Well, and also you got to think about the foundation, kind of like that when you hear that story about the prodigal son, where he goes out into the world, but eventually he comes back to the roots.
Yeah,
and the root will always stay there. The fundamentals from it. And he made a comment basically when he was talking to the congregation. He said, well, he feels like he's still one of the greatest artists that's now representing for God. And I definitely feel like, and this is me from a personal standpoint, I acknowledge God in all that I do.
Exactly.
And some people might have a different opinion. I respect that, but hey, respect my opinion. And I respect Kanye for his voicing. This is his view. This is where he stands. And I just feel like coming from that standpoint, also people feel like in media, all publicity is good publicity. Where it's bad, where it is good.
Well, let's put it in. But let's put it in context,
right.
Because people, I don't know if people understand exactly what and I want to put the actual words out there because I had beef with it too. But I had to go back because I didn't watch the entire sermon.
Right.
But the presentation. But what he said was, quote, Kanye West with Joel Osteen. It's like the devil stole all the good producers, all the good musicians, right. all the good artists, all the good designers, all the good business people. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. That's one sentence. Where's the lie? Think about it. From a spiritual sense, if you are attending, any type of worship meditation, where's the lie? We have all been taught from the beginning of time that it's a spiritual warfare out here.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me go on. He say, you got to come over. He said, God told him, you got to come over and work for me. You know what I'm saying? He said, the shift is going to change. He said, Jesus has won the victory. And now he says, now the greatest artist God ever created is working for him. He added. So
But that's Kanye, too.
I know.
You got to understand.
What's wrong with that? I said, what's wrong with that? To me, I feel like if you're a teacher, whatever you do, you're a baker, whatever your profession is, hell, you need to be feeling the same way about what you do. Now, some of you guys might get on here and bash me for this, but you should feel that way about whatever it is that you do. You should be, I am the best announcer in the world. Let me tell you something. Those type of words and those types of beliefs, do you not know how many mountains that you can overcome just by that's why he has been able to create these amazing things. Jay-Z talked about it a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
He said, people might think, Kanye's a little crazy, a little off or whatever, but it's the way he thinks that allowed him to overcome certain obstacles.
Oh yeah, and I would take it one step further.
Yeah.
Your vision begins with you.
Yeah.
If you are confident not so much cocky, but, being confident in knowing and believing in your vision, because, that will influence others to believe in your vision as well.
Exactly.
So
if you think you're the best, I mean,
if you think you're the best, then, hey, bring it into fruition.
Yeah, exactly. He
implement and do the things.
Exactly.
And like they say, there's power in your tongue.
I'm gonna tell you also, he also, which was, I thought was, I did not hear this part, but I'm actually reading a quote. He says, he has a family, he says he's 42 years old and married for 5 years. People forget that. Yeah, he's married to Kim Kardashian, but everybody changes, everybody evolves, right? He says there's a blatant responsibility for him to become more like his mother. And we know who Donda West was, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Sister girl, who made her way up through the ranks, became this amazing, learned, professor. Hello?
Yeah.
A lady of education who was raising a little black boy, raised him in the church. He talks about it. Oh, yeah. He talks about how his mom, instilled that in him. So what we always say, things that were instilled in you when you were growing up, they always come back.
Yeah, and also with his father, he mentioned that his father is also working in building a water purification plant in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So, but his father was also, about, instilling those things.
So the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Exactly.
With all of us, we may stray. Everyone strays. You be like, I know they was raised up a certain way and they didn't went over there and fell off into the damn.
Exactly.
But they're gonna come back.
Oh yeah.
And I think we as humans, we as Christians, we as people who are leaders, we consider ourselves leaders. You should have open arms and welcome these people back because nobody is perfect. So I give my hats off to Kanye. I love him. Like I said, people saying that he is trying to profit and he's not sincere. No. Go back and listen to this music.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
Well, and I'll say this too. In Scripture, I think the Master, I think he wants us to prosper. So if it's your goal and you're able to reach people with a positive message, and it's also creating profit, I don't see anything wrong with that as long as you keep it in its proper place, and don't let that become like the ulterior motive, to get money and all those things. But if you're sincere and you take care of your gifts will definitely take care of you.
Amazing.
And that's one of the things I take from this. And some people might disagree, but you have to keep your peripheral open in this thing, because even you feel like your opinion, and I say it again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but everyone has an opinion like everyone has an anus.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
but just don't jump on nobody else. If their opinion is about themselves and how they feel about themselves, like don't poo-poo on what I'm thinking about myself.
Oh yeah.
What I'm thinking about, because myself, this is my body and my mind, and what I'm doing is my responsibility. It is me and between me and my God that I follow.
Oh yeah.
So definitely. Shut the up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, but serious.
Yeah.
It's that serious to, and like I said, the biggest lesson I took away from when Kanye said that, you need to be thinking the same thing about yourself. Maybe you will be able to get that promotion. Maybe you will be able to get in to the industry. Maybe you will be able to sustain. Maybe you will be able to lead other people who want to be where you are in life.
In other words, guys, believe in yourself.
If you
believe in yourself first.
In the Wiz, at the Wiz.
I guess so. Okay.
You can tell that was not my.
We got the disclaimer
that
coming
was not
up
my strong
soon,
point. Listen,
right.
guys, music and singing, I can't do it. Okay, Listen, guys, I'm Cynthia Mallard,
and I'm Mark Dean.
You have been listening to Studio Set Stage.
Yes.
Like I said, we are on all platforms. What an amazing episode today.
Yes, indeed.
Like I said, if you guys know of fellow Studio Set Stagers who you feel like, we need to shine a light on them. These are people who are living the life every single day. We might not know their names or whatever. We might not even know how they look, whatever. But if you feel like they need to be on Studio Set Stage, let us know.
Yes.
Hit us up.
Reach us at Studio Set Stage on all platforms. That's IG, that's Facebook, that's Twitter. StudioSetStage@gmail.com. Okay? And be sure to subscribe to the website, StudioSetStage.com.
We need your numbers, guys.
Listen,
come on now.
Guys, look. We are not hard to find. We are not hard to find.
Right.
You know, like Biggie said, it ain't hard to find me. It ain't hard to find us.
Let us know if you love the podcast.
Yes.
If you hate it, maybe some things that we could even do better. Shoot, we open. You may say something crazy and outlandish. We'll be like, okay, whatever. But we may take it into consideration. So
yeah, we may.
Just definitely. You said we may.
We may. We might.
Listen, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Marq Dean Music. That's MarQDean Music on IG, Facebook, Twitter, all that.
And of course, you can find me, Cynthia Mallard, at Cynthia Mallard World on IG, and then Cynthia Mallard everywhere else. Hit me up, drop me a comment, okay? I like anything like that. It's cool, okay?
Like,
love you guys.
Follow, subscribe, and we love you.
Guys, this is Studio Set Stage. Talk with you next week.